Okay, so my name is Joe, and I run a Harnmaster campaign on Saturday evenings from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time US. We use the website roll20.com and the channel on Discord for us to chat. And details on the campaign itself can be found at the link below the video. Now, this video is intended primarily for people who are somewhat familiar with the Harn game system. And we're doing this as a demonstration of how easy and efficient we have made it. My co-GM Jim and I, Jim is the main guy who does the code, I do a little bit of work on it. How easy and efficient we've made it for things like character creation and combat, which I'm going to deal with later on. Now, if you are not familiar with the Harn game system, I will be creating another video for that again in the not too distant future. Now, we do have several ways of creating characters. Here I'm going to demonstrate it manually to make it easier for everybody involved. Now, I'm going to begin by simply clicking on the plus character button up here. And you see that pop up. Now, the bot, as you can see, chooses a random name that you just gibberish there. We're just going to create our own name. I'm just going to call it Demo for the sake of the video. And I'm going to add a simple avatar. Give that a second to load in there. And a simple token. Okay, and that's just, again, for the sake of the video, these are just generic. It doesn't really matter. Now, there is a space down here for bio and information. Now, this is from the player, so that when people see it, they can look at it. And I have secret info. Jim needs to know so here we have information about the character that comes from the player to introduce him or herself to the other players. And this is if there is the secret information the GM needs to know but is not going to tell anybody. So, okay, so you write that, you click on Save Changes, and we're off to start. Now, you will notice that there are three primary tabs on the top here. This is Character Sheet, Bio and Info, and Attributes and Abilities. We're going to concern ourselves, in this case, only with the Character Sheet. And you notice that the Character Sheet itself has several different tabs on the Character Sheet. There's Character, Skills, Combat, Armor, Inventory, Supernatural, and Notes. We're going to go through these one at a time. Now, the name, let's start with the, there's three sections in the Character area. That's where we're at, the Character tab. There's Personal, Attributes, and Family. Now, obviously, the most important thing for this particular page is the attributes. We'll get to that in a second. The name doesn't have to be exactly the same as the name in the bio information as the primary one. I'm just going to type it in here just for the sake of argument. Occupation can be whatever you want. There's ways of dealing with that. I'm not going to deal with that right now. All this other stuff is not really important except for the sun sign. The sun sign is important because the sun sign will determine certain things from skills. Okay, so you can choose this from a drop-down menu, as you can see. Okay, so you can choose whichever one you want. We're just going to stick with the default there, and whichever god you worship. All this stuff here, while it's important, does not really affect any attributes. Also, the family section here, none of this really affects anything. This is just for people who want to put in that sort of information. So I'm not going to bother with this right now. I don't want to get into too much detail. So let's, for the sake of ease, let's go ahead and add all the same number for the attributes, just to make it easier. Okay, so we've added, so everything is basically the same. Okay, again, that's just for the sake of the video. So let's move on to the Skills tab now. As you can see, they're separated into the 6 major areas: combat, physical, communication, craft lore, ritual, and magic. Okay, and as you can see, there are certain attributes that are automatic and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit calculate skill base here. and all the information is going to be automatically populated. The skill base is based upon, as you can see, some are better than others because that's the sun sign, right? The sun sign for Eulandis, I guess, gets a +2 for climbing. Okay, so there's that. Now, the master level can be changed manually at a later date. I don't think you really shouldn't change the skill base and all that. You can roll the skills individually if you want. We'll get to that another time. Now you can add a skill just by clicking the add button, and be sure to add the type of name correctly because otherwise it won't work. Because that's in the code. So in this case, let's go to combat and let's add some stuff. Now everybody has dagger. I always give everybody dagger. Okay, and let's add a short sword, and it's got to be spelled correctly, and you'll see why. We'll give a spear. That's pretty basic. And again, this is spelled a certain way. And let's give a shield round. Okay, so all these are added, and once more you hit calculate skill base, and it automatically populates. Okay, with the skill base and the master level. Now there's things for the occupation that would help for that, but we're not going to deal with that. Ritual depends upon obviously your religion. Magic depends upon your convocation. I'm not going to deal too much with that at the moment. But again, you can add any skill like that. Okay, so now clicking modify, by the way, means you can move around or delete using the red trash can here. You can delete these because you cannot delete an automatic skill. Okay, just click done when you're finished. So that's basically it. Again, you can add any skill you want from anything, and by clicking calculate skill base, it will automatically populate everything. Now for the moment, we're going to skip the combat and armor tab, and we're going to go right to the inventory tab. Okay, so as you can see, where have I got here? So as you can see, the only buttons I'm going to deal with are the add armor and add weapon. I'm not going to deal with add item or add. We're not going to bother with those. We're going to deal with add armor and add weapon. So let's go ahead and start with the weapons. We're going to add the weapons. Okay, so we started out with, as you can see, there's a drop-down menu here. You click on the add weapon, and drop-down menu pops up. And so let's start with dagger because everybody has dagger, and you click on that and you hit submit. Okay, click on that. And let's go, what did he have? He had a shield round, right? Like that. Weapon. And he had a sword, short sword. There it is. And he had a spear, right? Spear. Okay, and submit. Okay. That's important right there, okay? Let's give him some armor. Let's just give some very basic stuff, okay? Nothing really fancy, nothing that you wouldn't have on. So let's just give him, say, leather shirt. And again, this is a drop-down menu. So let's give him leather leggings. Let's start with that since it's up there. Leggings, leather, submit, and armor. And let's go with shirt, leather. You scroll down, there's a lot of stuff here. Shirt, leather, and submit that. Okay, and as you can see, everything here, the weight of the armor, the cost of it if you're calculating that, the quality of it, how much, and whether it's worn or not. You can actually check uncheck that, but we'll deal with that. So now let us go to the combat tab, and we can see what we've developed here. Okay, as you can see, all the information about the weapons, because it's in the because it's already listed in skills, right? It automatically populates everything, and you have your attack and defense modifications and all that stuff. So here you can see the master level is 39. Now this is important. As your skill improves, when your skill improves on short sword, right? Let's just say he goes up to 50, right? You know, that can be done manually there. But if you go to combat, you have to manually type in. What did I do? Did I do short or short sword? I did short. So you go into combat, you go to short sword, and you put in the master level of 50 now, and as you can see, it automatically goes your AML and your DML, attack master level and defense master level, automatically go up. Okay, blunt engine point. In case you're using like a magical weapon or a higher quality weapon, you can adjust that as well. And you can adjust any of these manually that you need to. Okay, but the reason why that populated there is because it was listed in the skills and you chose it from the inventory. Okay, and you've noticed none of the weights that we're going to get into that. There's no damage or anything like that. So, as you can see, some of this stuff is going to be automatically calculated in initiative and endurance. Okay, so now let's go to armor, since we've already chosen our armor. And again, we only chose a couple of things, so I just want to use an example. So here, show all the locations and the type of armor it can, it can protect you from. You click calculate armor values, and the number automatically populates. Okay, so he's wearing leather and on the hip and the groin because he's got double, so it's double like that. So that's his thing. Now, if we go back to the combat tab, actually, let's go ahead and close this out. Hang on, and reopen it, because sometimes you got to do that in order for it to do. Okay, here we are. The weight of the weapons, weight of the armors, and you can see the initiative has been put in, how many hexes you can move, endurance, and the encumbrance shows up, and that will automatically be taken into account during combat. Okay, so there you're doing. Now again, you're going to choose more armor, you're going to choose different weapons, stuff like that, but the point is, all of this stuff is automatically input. So now if you want to add spells, if you're a magic user or a cleric, if you want to add a spell, you click on the add spell, and these are all the spells regardless of convocation, all in alphabetical order. Okay, and that doesn't really matter to us because if you're looking up the spells, which you really should do, you'll know the name of the spell. You tell me the name of the spell, or you choose it yourself, and you put it in. Let's just pick, for example, Garrow's Enhancement, which I have here. Okay, you hit that submit, wham, and it shows up, tells you the type of convocation, the level. Master level is put in manually. Okay, and you have it in the notes here. It shows you all the information about the spell. This is all in the coding. Okay, and again, with the other thing, if you made a mistake, if you chose the wrong one, you click on modify and you can delete it if you want. Okay, just hit done if you're finished there. The ritual stuff, and there are, by the way, as you know, there are a couple of spells that are automatic that you can just choose from there and automatically put in. Excuse me. And then you can do the same thing with your rituals. If you're a cleric, you click on add ritual. But the difference is you have to type them in manually. This is because there are so many of them that we didn't want to have a drop down that big. Excuse me. So we've made it so that you have to type it in. We'll say baptism, which is one of the automatic ones. Type in baptism and you hit submit. And again, wham. See, baptism, it's common. And again, you have your description here, what it does. And how it's used. And again, you can use it by clicking the dice symbol there. And again, that's pretty standard. And again, you can use modify to delete it if you want. You can just redo that, resize that. So, makes it so easy. Psionics, we haven't really worked on psionics, except for the psionics is going to be the same way. Basically, you're just going to be able to choose. Actually, we're going to make it so that only the game master can choose the psionics, since it's supposed to be secret. And I'm going to try to figure a way to keep it a secret from somebody until it's used. So anyway, there you basically have it. Now you have a character that you can use. You click on that. There's your character there, demo, and like that. So in the next video, we will deal with combat and using spells and rituals in combat. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff here. So that's basically it for me. We have created a character. Well, actually, let's put it on the screen here. Hang on. Now the demo, let's go ahead and okay, let's go here and scroll. That's a nice Harn map there. And if you double click on it, and you see it represents which character, and you choose the character, we just say demo. You see I have a lot of them here. Just choose demo. Now if you want the damage and stuff to show up on the character street, you have to select universal penalty from here. Again, this is fairly complicated, but all you have to do is do that. Fairly complicated for the thing. And if you wanted to have a nameplate, you click on the nameplate. You can type whatever you want in here. In this place, and you click on update default token. And if you want dynamic lighting, if you want it to be lit, like he's got a torch or something like that, you can click on that. Okay, and GM notes if necessary, and more other stuff here. But this is your basic stuff. You click on save changes, And there you can see there's your character, and it'll automatically show up the size of the cell, and then you can resize it if you want. Okay, and then if you want to click on that, you can see that, and you can also update open the character sheet using that. So anyway, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join my game, you can send me a message through Facebook here, or you can send it through here, and I will do that, and I will get back with you if you're interested. So, thank you very much, and we hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.